The News Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Some provinces are now mulling to make the wearing of face masks optional in public places after Cebu came up with an ordinance standing by its mandate. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us the front seat to this story.
Cebu province is standing firm on its decision to throw out the mask mandate in public open spaces. The Cebu Provincial Board officially adopted Governor Gwen Garcia's Executive Order 16 as a provincial ordinance with the force of law. The ordinance passed in record time of 30 minutes, challenges Malacanang's insistence that the IATF order requiring face masks still stands. But it looks like more provinces are joining up with Cebu in questioning the masking requirement. League of Provinces Chairman and Quirino Governor Daquila Cua says other LGUs are now asking if they can ease their mask restrictions as well.
Halimbawa, doon sa mga lugar na talagang kagubatan naman yung kanilang barangay, at hindi naman talaga nagkukumpul-kumpul ang tao doon. Baka naman there should be more depth to our policy according to our data.
On Tuesday, the PNP relieved Cebu Provincial Police Chief Engelbert Soriano, who earlier stood by Garcia. The PNP said Soriano's relief was for his own career advancement. Nevertheless, the PNP reminded all its units to follow instructions from the DILG and the PNP hierarchy.
Yung ating pong national government policy should prevail over local ordinances.
As of Wednesday, only Cebu has so far loosened its mask mandate. The health department and other experts reminded the public that face masks are still a must, especially since vaccine immunity are already starting to wane. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
Despite an uptick in COVID-19 cases, the health department does not recommend escalating Metro Manila to alert level 2. JC Cosico has the story.
The health department says Metro Manila is still under low risk for COVID-19 despite the uptick in cases. The agency noted an increase in cases since mid-May, with daily infections at 100 at the start of June. 12 areas in NCR were also found to have an increasing number of infections.
Hindi pa siya that significant because we are not seeing yet yung translation niya dito sa pagtaas ng admissions nor sa mga severe and critical cases.
Despite this rise, the DOH is still not keen on escalating the region to alert level 2. Under alert level 2, the risk classification should be moderate with an average daily attack rate of 6 and at least 50% bed utilization rate. Currently, the NCR's ADR is at 1.
Kailangan magkaroon siya ng around 818 cases per day ng 2 linggo para umabot tayo dun sa 6 na sinasabi natin. And again, as I've said, hindi natin nakikitang ganun kabilis ang infection ngayon for us to say that we will escalate soon. Kailangan gawin na lang natin, we closely monitor.
To avoid an outbreak, the agency is reiterating its call to the public to follow minimum health protocols and to get their booster shot. Only 14.6 million out of the 50 million plus eligible for boosters have already gotten theirs. But for now, though, there's still no recommendation regarding the rollout of fourth doses to the general population.
For senior citizens, for those immunocompromised individuals, hirap talaga ang katawan na mag-produce ng antibodies even after the third dose. Pero sa general population, not much evidence yet. Kaya po hindi talaga makapagbigay pa ng rekomendasyon ng ating mga eksperto at ang DOH.
The DOH maintains the mask mandate remains amid the presence of Omicron subvariants in the country. Vergere said there would be higher risk of cross-border COVID-19 transmission if LGUs impose different mask protocols.
We cannot have a republic within a republic. We know that the virus crosses borders. So alam po natin na halimbawa ang isang area hindi siya magpapatupad ng isang protocol, maaring ang transmission ay magtuloy-tuloy. And that is not what we want for now.
For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
Former IBP President Domingo Cayosa says local government units must follow the guidelines of the national government when it comes to the pandemic. In an interview with 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, Cayosa explained that the pandemic is a national concern as authorities must adhere to the national government approach to deal with COVID-19. This includes the mandate to wear face masks in public.
Dapat masunod muna ngayon at yung national government guidelines. Una, the pandemic is a national and even a global phenomenon. Totoong may local autonomy, ngunit kung meron namang legally issued orders or guidelines or directives, whatever you may call it, ang national authorities, obligasyon ng mga local government units to execute and implement them. Ganun ho ang ating sistema.
We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. If you want to travel to Davao straight from Metro Manila without having to pay airfare, well, this is now possible for travelers as transportation authorities open a bus route leading straight to Davao City. Gerard de la Peña has the details.
The LTFRB officially opens a bus route from PTEX in Parañaque all the way to Davao City. This trip lasts for 3 days and includes both land and ferry travel. The fare, 3,680 pesos. Jerry is among the first passengers who tried this service. This is his first trip to his hometown after 3 years.
Pag eroplano kasi, yung pamasahe mahal, 8K, ganon, 10K.
But as the Duterte administration's term nears its end, the LTFRB continues to face various fare hike petitions. Provincial bus operators have formally submitted their petition for an additional 30 to 50 centavos pesos per kilometer for their trips. The LTFRB is also set to hear the petition of jeepney operators for an additional 5 to 6 pesos in the minimum fare. Groups are also calling for additional fare on flag down rates for transport network vehicle services. Even city buses and taxi operators have submitted similar petitions.
We do not know if the board will give the full amount or a lesser amount or kung ano man ang maging desisyon ng board. Basta ang iniisip lang lagi kasi ng board ng mga factors na to consider are the effects also to the commuters and the viability also ng mga operators. Medyo tinamaan nga kami nung sa piso na provisional increase kasi sinasabi ng economic managers it pushed the yung inflation higher because of the increase, no? But nanindigan pa rin ang board to give that because kinakailangan din po talaga.
Passengers may now have to bear the brunt of possible fare increases prompted by fuel price hikes.
Madadagdagan po yung gastos.
Medyo mabigat ba sa iyo?
Medyo po kasi syempre wala pa po, kagaya ko po wala pa po akong trabaho. Nag-a-apply pa lang po ako. Kaya malaki po kabawasan talaga sa akin kapag inalis na po yung libreng sakay.
Meanwhile, the free rides at the EDSA busway and other routes will continue until the end of July. The LTFRB is keen on extending its implementation to the EDSA busway up until August, since this has the most passenger traffic. Around 300,000 passengers take the bus transit along EDSA every day.
Ang nakalagay po dun sa sa IRR po natin na until December 2022 or until funds are exhausted. August na yung high volume routes po yung ipaprioritize po natin. We are pushing na at least man lang makaabot ng August din yung kahit yung EDSA busway.
For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
The Labor Department has issued a wage hike order for employees of private establishments. All wage hikes are expected to take effect before the Duterte administration ends. So far, 9 regions have already implemented wage hikes, while 7 more are expected to implement these hikes before the end of June. According to Labor Director Rolly Francia, the difference between implementation dates are based on the cost of living of each region. Among the areas which have already implemented the hike are NCR, CAR, Mimaropa, and regions 1, 2, 6, 7, 12, and 13. The increase in wages are flashed on your screens.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Meanwhile, areas that will implement the hike later this month are regions 5 and 10 on June 18, region 11 on June 19, region 3 on June 20, region 9 on June 25, region 8 on June 27, and region 4A or Calabarzon on June 30. The expected rates of increase are now flashed on your screens. And those are the top stories of this hour. Join us later at 11 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.